Hi, Granny Dot here with another story about Amelia Bedelia and the surprise shower. There was a knock on the back door. Coming, coming, called Amelia Bedelia. She opened the door. "Oh, it's you, Cousin Alcolu," she said. "Do come in." "Mrs. Rogers asked me to help out today," said Alcolu. "Is she having a party or something?" "Every Tuesday," said Amelia Bedelia, "some ladies get together. They just sew and talk. But today, Miss Alma is in for a real surprise. Those other ladies are giving Miss Alma a shower." "A shower," said Alcolu. "A surprise shower," said Amelia Bedelia. "Now why would they do that to her?" said Alcolu. "Miss Alma is nice." "I don't know," said Amelia Bedelia. "She's about to get married. They should do something nice for her. She can give herself a shower." "Your folks do have some funny ways," said Alcolu. "Say, are you cooking something?" "My cupcakes," said Amelia Bedelia. She ran to the oven. "Just right," she said. "They need to cool a bit. Then I will ice them." Mr. Rogers came in. "Good morning, Amelia Bedelia." "Good morning, Alcolu," said Mr. Rogers. "My, what a nice lot of fish," said Amelia Bedelia. "They should taste good," said Mr. Rogers. "Please scale them and ice them." "All right," said Amelia Bedelia. "Say, Mr. Rogers, did you ever hear of giving somebody a surprise shower?" "Oh, yes," said Mr. Rogers. "It's like a surprise party. And they shower the person with gifts. That is why they call it a shower." Mr. Rogers looked at his watch. "I have to go to town," he said. He left the kitchen. "By the way, Amelia Bedelia," said Alcolu, "Mrs. Rogers told me to prune the hedge. Could you show me how to do that?" "I'd be glad to," said Amelia Bedelia. She went to the cupboard. She took out a box of prunes. Amelia Bedelia and Alcolu went to the hedge. "Now," said Amelia Bedelia, "you take a prune, then stick it on like this." "Is that all there is to it?" asked Alcolu. "Prune it well," said Amelia Bedelia. "Mrs. Rogers likes things done right." Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. "Oh, I plumb forgot my cupcakes," she said, "and I must make that chocolate icing." She put some of this and a little of that in a big pot. She stirred and she stirred. Then she tasted the icing. Just right, she said, and she began to ice her cupcakes. The fish, she said. Mr. Rogers said to scale them and ice them. She got out the scales. She piled the fish on them. There, she said, you just scale yourselves while I ice the cakes. And Amelia Bedelia iced her cakes. Those do look nice, she said, and there's enough icing left to ice the fish, too. Amelia Bedelia picked up a fish by its tail. I hope you've scaled long enough, she said. Let's stop a minute and think about scaling a fish. What did Amelia Bedelia really mean when she thought she had to scale the fish? Well, remember this picture? What did she do? She put all the fish on the scales, because that's what these are called, scales. However, she didn't know that to scale a fish, you take all the scales, the outer layer of the fish off. That's what you do when you scale a fish. So then she picked up a fish and decided, she had enough icing to ice the fish. So she did that on one side of the fish, one fish, and then she iced the other side. She worked until the last fish was iced. Have you ever seen a fish with icing on it? I haven't. Well, let's see. Amelia Bedelia worked until the last fish was iced. That takes care of you, she said. She put the iced fish and the iced cupcakes in the cupboard. Oh, did I show you that? Look at those iced fish. What would you do if you were given an iced fish? I'll bet you'd do the same thing I would do. I would take the icing off and eat it and leave the fish be. Mrs. Rogers came into the kitchen. Amelia Bedelia, use this tablecloth for the table, she said. Do run over it first with an iron. And we need some cut flowers. She went out the back door. Amelia Bedelia unfolded the tablecloth. She put it on the floor. Then Amelia Bedelia got the iron, and Amelia Bedelia ran all over that tablecloth with the iron in her hand. Then Amelia Bedelia put the tablecloth on the table. Alcolo came over to Amelia Bedelia. That takes care of that, he said. I even had some prunes left, so I pruned the other bushes too. "That does look nice," said Amelia Bedelia. "Mrs. Rogers will be mighty pleased." Do you see the prunes on the hedge? A hedge is a bush, a row of bushes.
So he put prunes on the bushes.
He thought that was pruning them. Amelia Bedelia and Alcolu met Mrs. Rogers at the back door. Mrs. Rogers came in with a bunch of flowers. She put them on the kitchen table. "Amelia Bedelia," she said, "use the large silver bowl for the cut flowers." "All right," said Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers left the kitchen. She came right back with a basket of gifts. "These are from Miss Alma's shower," she said. "We'll start sewing, as we always do. Then, when all the ladies are here, we will say, 'Surprise!' Then comes the shower. Can you and Alcolu take care of everything?" "Oh, yes," said Amelia Bedelia. "We will see to everything." "These flowers are so pretty," said Amelia Bedelia. "It's a shame to cut 'em." "She said cut flowers," said Alcolu. "Let me help you." So Amelia Bedelia and Alcolu fixed a bowl of cut flowers. "We do have some figuring out to do," she said. "I thought those ladies were supposed to be giving the shower, and here we are giving it." "If we had known," said Alcolu, "we could have fixed up something fancy." "Too late for that now," said Amelia Bedelia. The two of them went outside. Amelia Bedelia saw the garden hose. "Think that will do?" asked Alcolu. "Well, the hose is not really a shower," said Amelia Bedelia, "but it's the next best thing. I'll give her the gifts, and you can shower her." "The gifts will get wet," said Alcolu. "They are shower gifts," said Amelia Bedelia. "What if they do get wet?" "We'll get wet too." "Well," said Alcolu, "we can then put on something else." "Oh, what a good idea," said Amelia Bedelia. "Hide those gifts first," said Alcolu. Amelia Bedelia hid the basket of gifts under some bushes. "It's time to get ready," she said. A bit later, Amelia Bedelia heard a car stop. "Here come the ladies," she called to Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried out to meet them. Mrs. Ralph came first, and with her came her 4 children. "Look!" they shouted. "Look! Prunes on the hedge!" The children went racing past. More and more ladies came. They began to sew, but Miss Alma did not come. "Where's Miss Alma? Where's Miss Alma?" everybody asked, but nobody knew. Mrs. Rogers looked at the table. "Footprints," said Mrs. Rogers. "Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to that tablecloth?" I ran over it with an iron," said Amelia Bedelia. "Should I have taken my shoes off first?" "Oh, never mind," said Mrs. Rogers. "Amelia Bedelia, where are the cut flowers?" she asked. "Oh, my," said Amelia Bedelia. "I forgot them." She ran in and got the flowers. Mrs. Rogers looked at the bowl. "Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to those flowers?" "I cut them," said Amelia Bedelia. "You said to fix a bowl of cut flowers." Just then Miss Alma drove up. Here she is," said the ladies. "Sorry to be late," said Miss Alma, "but I have a headache." "Oh, I'm so sorry," said Mrs. Rogers. "You just sit down." Mrs. Rogers turned to Amelia Bedelia. "Are you ready for the shower?" she asked. "We'll need a minute or two," said Amelia Bedelia. She called El Kolu. They went around back. And there stood Amelia Bedelia and El Kolu in their bathing suits. "All right," called Amelia Bedelia. "We're ready." Then all the ladies shouted, "Surprise!" And Amelia Bedelia shouted, "Surprise!" when she ran out with the gifts. She dumped them on Miss Alma's lap. "Here are the gifts," she said. El Kulu came right behind her with the hose. "And here's the shower," he shouted. "A shower, a shower, a shower!" screamed Mrs. Ruff's four children, and they jumped into the shower with Miss Alma. All the ladies screamed too, and they jumped out of the shower. Miss Alma leaped up. Her gifts flew all over the place. "How dare you!" she shouted. Miss Alma was angry. She was very angry. "Amelia Bedelia, El Kolu!" shouted Mrs. Rogers. "Turn off that water this minute!" Amelia Bedelia and El Kolu turned off the water. "Did you see how mad Miss Alma was?" asked El Kolu. "I don't think she liked our shower," said Amelia Bedelia. Maybe some hot tea will help her. Amelia Bedelia and Alcolu went into the kitchen. "I'll take the tea things," said Amelia Bedelia. "You bring the cupcakes." "Here's the tea," said Amelia Bedelia. "Thank goodness for that," said Mrs. Rogers. That chocolate looks good," said Mrs. Ralph. "Help yourself," said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Ralph helped herself to the biggest piece. She took her fork. She tried to cut it, but it would not cut. And Mrs. Ralph wanted that chocolate. So she picked it up and bit it. "Oh!" she screamed. "Fish! Raw fish!" Mrs. Ralph was angry. She was very angry. Mr. Rogers came out just then. He heard what Mrs. Ralph said. "Fish!" he shouted. "Amelia Bedelia, what did you do with my fish?" "I iced them," said Amelia Bedelia. Now Mr. Rogers was angry also. Suddenly, Miss Alma started laughing. Everybody looked at her. She jumped up and threw her arms around Amelia Bedelia. "You are wonderful," said Miss Alma. "My headache is all gone." That surprise shower was just what I needed. Then Mrs. Ralph laughed. "Amelia Bedelia," she asked, "did you prune the hedge?" "Cousin Alcolu did that," said Amelia Bedelia. "Then he is wonderful too," said Mrs. Ralph. "See how happy my children are. They've never been this good." And suddenly, everybody was laughing. Mrs. Rogers began to pour the tea, and Amelia Bedelia served the chocolate cupcakes. And the ladies said they were the best cakes they'd ever eaten. "Oh, that was so much fun," said all the ladies, and they laughed some more. Then they helped pick up Miss Alma's gifts. And they were still laughing when they left. That was certainly a fun, I guess, surprise party. No, shower. That's right. It definitely was a shower. Bye-bye till next time.